Welcome to the Rainbow Remix Best of Series 2022. Today we're featuring Leigh and Lauren Reed from TLC's hit show sMothered, and singer-songwriter and music professor at Northeastern University, Melissa Ferrick.
I don't know, like, she's out there. You're the Florida version of Sex and the City, JD.
That's when I was smoking my cigars.
Don't be an asshole today.
Up first in the mix, Leigh and Lauren Reed of TLC's hit show sMothered. The full episode aired on September 17th, 2022.
Hey!
Hello.
What's going on? Hello!
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So excited that you guys are on today. I mean, I am a huge fan of the show. Denise and I have been so excited about this for as soon as we knew about it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I tried to fill Denise in as much as I could. I'm all up to date on whatever they will show us. And I know you guys already had the baby, beautiful little girl.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
How to cue her in. Right?
So, because I follow you on Instagram, I stalk you guys a little bit on Instagram. So I've seen your beautiful little girl.
Well, that's all Instagram is now. It's just pictures of her.
Yes, I noticed.
Any
that.
parent.
So how have your lives changed? Speaking of all of this, since you got on the show, as far as
what are your outer rim families that might not be in it? Like, what do they think about this?
Well, we have a really strong community around us. Like, so we live in a neighborhood with like 4 or 5 couples.
I call it our neighborhood.
Got a neighborhood.
A bunch of lesbian couples. We're all in that part of our lives where we're either just got engaged, getting married, or having babies. So we're kind of all experiencing that part of life right now. And so other than my family, I mean, her family we're close to too, but they live out of state. They live in Mississippi, whereas we're in Louisiana. So other than my family, I mean, that is our like community right there. That is our core. So they all laugh because they're like, man, Leigh looks like the perfect wife on TV sometimes. I'm like, Lauren, you look like such a bitch. But they're like, but we know y'all. We know that she's really the asshole.
So do you feel like sometimes you're the victim of a bad edit, and sometimes Leigh, you're the victim of a bad edit? Like, it's kind of a crap
right?
You're gonna get the bad edit.
Oh yeah,
the funny thing is, like, fans of the show hated me last season. So we're actually, I know you had mentioned, so this is our second season, but it's the 4th season that's playing right now on TV. So last season, season 3, I got so much hate. Messages like people wish I wouldn't get pregnant, that Leigh would leave me on the daily. But the moment I announced that I was pregnant, it was like
the tables flipped.
Complete shift. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy for y'all!" Like, I mean, I'm here for all the positivity, but it's just kind of funny how that happened.
Yeah.
So you have to get geared up for that, right? Like, you put yourself in the spotlight, you put yourselves out there. Anyone that would do that, you do have to be ready for some of the negative stuff as well. I mean, was that difficult when you saw people hating you?
Being queer. On top of being queer.
Right.
Yeah. I'll be completely honest. I told Lauren going into this, I said, I know the world is changing for the better, and it made me nervous to put our lives out there for people to judge. But that was actually the least amount of negative comments that we had gotten. I mean, it's few and far between. And I told Lauren, I was like, it just really opened my eyes how much the world, is more accepting.
Yeah, I mean, you also got all these like old Southern women wanting to be changed because of you.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of comments that like, I got a husband, but I date Leigh, and I'm
she's getting all the love. I feel
That's
like she's like
great.
Wow.
the version, the newer version of Ellen. They're all like, well, I like this one.
That's amazing. That
That's
is amazing
great.
to hear that, and so nice, because that was one of my questions, like, how is it being in the South, and is it like, was it different for you guys being a same-sex couple on the show, and were you getting comments about that? So
It's
the
crazy.
fact that
Yeah.
you're getting
Very few
positive.
comments were actually about that. Now, I will say, it being the 4th season, we now have Shay introduced to the season, and that is a transgender woman who
Yes.
is now in the season with us. And I know that she's getting, comments here and there, and we've been kind of talking to her a little bit off the show.
And
Do you ever worry about though? Like I just read something like on my Twitter feed. We're big fans of the show Heartstopper on Netflix, and so we of course started following all the stars of that. And the one guy just pulled himself off Twitter because he said that he got accused of queer baiting or something because he had his picture taken holding hands with his best friend who was a girl. And they went nuts, and so he just like took himself off Twitter and said, "That's it. I'm not on social media." And it's like that's got to be like cutting off a limb,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's a huge
We've never
decision.
really been like really into social media, neither one of us. I mean, I feel like now I post more than I ever have because of my
Sure.
daughter, and I'm like,
course,
she's the cutest thing. But I think the only thing that I've had to do, like with the hate comments, is I don't go looking for it, but it was find its way into like my personal messages and things on Instagram. And I didn't make a new Instagram for the show. Like it was my personal Instagram. I just, that's what people
Yeah.
follow me on.
Oh, okay.
But
Bold.
what I did do for myself is I made it to where only people who follow me could comment on my photos.
Smart.
And in my sense, that really stopped a lot of the hate, because if you're going to follow me, then I would hope that
There's
you
a
like
reason,
me. And if
yeah.
you don't like me, then why are you following me?
Right.
Yeah.
And that really put a stop to majority of it.
That's great because
Yeah.
there's so many trolls out there that just want to jump on a hate wagon. Doesn't matter.
Right.
who,
Yeah.
they just want to be on the hate wagon. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's easy to hide behind a screen anonymously just to be ugly.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
They're so brave in front of their monitor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I get it.
Oh, I know where I was talking about earlier. It just came back to me. That'll happen probably
good.
a lot. Is that when I brought up Shay earlier, being a transgender woman, I loved that they showed the conversation between her and her mom on the show about her mom felt the need to like mourn who she lost. She in a
Yeah.
sense lost her
Yes.
son. And that's something my mom and that was one thing about like the edit. We had a really honest conversation that I kind of wish would have been included, and maybe it will be, in the future, about how I understood, especially now as a mother, I understood that my mom had to kind of mourn when I came out to her, especially living in the South. She kind of had to mourn the life she thought I was gonna have.
Husband and then grandchildren.
Right.
Before
My mom
before
said the
we all
same
knew.
thing. Yes. Same
Yeah.
And then
exact
especially
words.
I am a really like, girly girl. And I feel like Laura Lee and I don't know if it's because we live in the South or whatever, but we take on those like traditional roles, like she cuts the grass and I do the dishes and we are essentially.
I asked her to cut the grass. She won't help.
No.
She said she's got allergies.
Truth bomb.
That's
But I
very
mean, there are so many
true,
times
right?
that I'll see people staring at us. Now I feel like it's for the show majority of the time, but sometimes I'm just like, oh yeah, like we're different than other people, and we kind of have to remind ourselves that because we forget.
Yeah. You're just living your lives, like that's.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Is it weird though having cameras on you all the time?
I mean, at
Right.
first it
I'm
was,
used to it a little
and
bit.
yeah, I think we kind of love it now secretly.
Any type of attention. So I was the one that kind of signed us up for this whole thing, and my mom is the one who's like, "What are you doing to us?"
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She was a big part. Jay, didn't you tell me the mom was a big part of this?
Oh yeah. I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
ask, like, does your mom is she on Instagram? Does she get the haters
She's
as well?
on Instagram. She's never really been on social media.
Yeah.
And like she's a lot like me. We don't go looking for anything. My dad is a lot like Laura Lee. Laura Lee is like,
Yeah.
I married my father, basically,
Oh
in
my
every way.
God.
So he will, to read her like the funny things here and there, but we just tell them, if you come across anything negative, we don't need
Yeah,
it.
we try to just ignore it.
Yeah.
Smart. I'm
I
glad that
love-
you have less of it though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
that's
I
huge.
love the dynamic between Laura Leigh and your dad, and they work together. And I wanted to
You
ask
do.
you, what is that like working with your father-in-law? And but you guys are buddies. That I watched some of the Instagram videos where you're in the car driving
Oh,
together.
the car videos are
That
fantastic.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah. uh,
Oh man,
that's
I
awesome.
I love working. Well, okay, let me start. I love Mr. Kenny. He's like another father figure, buddy figure. And as far as working together goes, I'm not gonna lie, we do butt heads sometimes. But I think he's only comfortable, like he'll take out his anger on me at work, and we laugh about it later on because like we may like if we disagree about something at work, he may get on the phone and start bitching at me a little bit, but like at the end of the conversation after everything's settled down, he's usually like, okay, I love you. I'm sorry, I love you. And then
He's gotta explode. He's gotta explode and then
yeah, and then he comes back.
That's
And
awesome.
so I'll mess with him too, or I'll call him and I'll be in front of the guys at work and I'll call them, hey daddy, I love you, what are you doing? Like, I got a question about work, and they're like they're on the phone like, hey daddy. So I like to embarrass them a little bit too.
They are so much alike. Laura Leigh, for the longest time, and like with our group of friends, she used to make fun of my dad's laugh because it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
very obnoxious laugh. And he like slapped his knee or something. And now all my friends have called her out. Like her laugh is now adapted into his laugh. She now laughs
I've
like.
taken on the laugh that I made fun of.
So she is just slowly turning into him, but in every way.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that is hilarious.
Yeah, as soon as we got here.
How about with like he obviously he's a good granddad, right?
Oh yeah, he's the
Absolutely.
best.
Well, that's just cemented your position. He can't yell at you, be angry at you.
Right, right.
Exactly.
Your parents
Oh,
are
yeah.
your grandchild.
Yeah, I was hoping we were going to give him a little grandson because the poor man's been surrounded by women his entire life. And then even at our wedding, his speech was, I never thought I was going to have another daughter.
Oh, that's funny.
Poor
saw
man can't catch a break.
I saw on the episode where I think one of the producers asked if he defends you, Laura Leigh, in these situations with the baby shower. And he's like, I defend her to a point until it's going to affect my marriage. And then basically you're on your own with that.
That's
Oh
great.
yeah, no, Miss Lisa wears the pants, that's for sure. I don't blame her. I understand why. I told Lauren ever since when I first met her, I was like, I was never scared of your father. I was like, your mom though, she
Everyone's
cut some
scared of
nuts, and I'm like, am I supposed to ask your mom for your hand in marriage? Like,
That's funny. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, everyone's always been scared of him.
and by the way, to spoil that, I just went ahead and did it, and her mom didn't talk to you for like a week because
That's true.
Oh,
My mom and I gone it was maybe a week and a half without talking ever in my entire life. And it was after she.
because I didn't we didn't announce that.
Yeah.
oh.
Oh,
I was a
awkward.
little nervous. I was a little nervous. She made me a little nervous.
Oh,
That
But
wasn't
we,
the
like
proper
typical
Southern-
lesbians, we got engaged like 6 months
Like
into
8
knowing
months?
each other. I think it was 6.
8 months? No? Okay.
How did you guys meet? I don't know if they mentioned that on the show. Did they mention?
don't know if they
did you
had
guys
either.
met
We
like
actually
that?
met on a dating website.
Yeah. We had
Oh.
one mutual friend who is my best friend in high school, and he was just someone she knew.
Yeah,
So-
I met him after I moved to Louisiana and was hanging out with him and a couple of people.
Yeah, so we both messaged him and was like, what do you know about this person? And he was like, I think it would be a good match. So we had the worst first date in history, but somehow we just stuck.
She never
Ah.
powered through. That's awesome. Gosh, you guys, I commend you for sharing so much of your lives with complete and utter strangers out there in the world, not knowing.
I'm
what
glad
to
we
do
could
next.
help educate people
Yeah.
about like at-home inseminations, because I can't get over how many comments we got about that's illegal. They can't do that.
You can order that over the internet.
Sperm in the mail. Like
I
people
didn't
really
know
thought
that.
it was illegal.
We've
Yeah.
actually I think the biggest like takeaway moment from doing this and sharing our lives is for all the people out there that did not know that for single parents, for LGBT community,
Right.
families that did not know that I can't have a child unless I adopt.
Right.
Which
Right.
obviously we talked about adoption and fostering as well,
Yeah.
but
Foster certified.
you know, just the fact that, yes, you still can have a child of
Yeah.
your own.
Yeah, here's
And
another
it
option, right?
That's an excellent point. Yeah, most people probably did not know that. I didn't know that. So yeah.
It is-
I
it is
constantly have
good.
people messaging me, asking me, you know, like, what ovulation app did you use? Because there's so many, and like
Mhm.
just all the steps.
How
And
did you order
at
it?
this point, I have like a note.
What do you ask your doctor? Which kind of doctor you go
Right.
to? Like,
What's
you know,
sperm bank? And like, are there options? I'm like, and then sperm banks right now are so crazy. You can literally put in, you know, a famous lookalike. You can put Tom Hanks, and they'll send you all the
Really?
donors that look like Tom Hanks. It's wild.
Like when you knew you guys got on the show, did your mom and dad, Lauren, know that they were going to be like, were they excited? Is it something they wanted to do? Or were you just
Oh
like,
no.
you're going to be on this show? Because it
No,
seems
I
like
mean,
maybe
my
like,
dad, my
yeah,
dad
like
is
maybe
very much
your
like
dad.
I am. He likes
Yeah.
attention. We
Right.
love like just the excitement, you know. So that was kind of exciting for him. But my mom is petrified. I mean, poor thing. We oh gosh, she was just a nervous wreck because, you know, this isn't a scripted show. They don't give us what to say. So I'll
Right,
never forget when
Yeah.
first time they came in, we were cooking dinner and they were like, okay, go ahead.
go.
My mom just like froze and she's just like, well, what do I say? And they were like, just talk like you would. And I'll never forget, my mom looked at me. She's like, well, normally we'd be talking about family and we can't do that. Like normally we'd be talking shit. So we can't do that.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
that's what
right.
I'm thinking. Like, there's got to be a certain amount of censor. You know, you got to censor certain things. Yeah. Wow. Ooh.
Yeah,
I
I
would
actually picked up.
100% have guessed that. I would have guessed your mom was like apprehensive, like shy, and your dad was like all about it, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
picked up a case of beer and started. When we knew we were about to start filming, I started drinking. I was like on my third one. Mr. Kenny's like, "You need to slow down." I'm like, "Oh, I was like, I'm just dropping stuff a little bit, Mr. Kenny."
That is so great. That's awesome. That's really awesome. I know we've kept you quite some time. Jay, I'm sure you've got like one more banger of a question as they say over here.
I am so excited, first of all, that you guys came on. This has been like the highlight of like, how have I been, Denise? Like,
Oh. I gotta check on her every day. I gotta text her like, you doing all right? You okay? Mind blown? You all right?
this has been amazing. I am super starstruck and so excited that you guys came on the show. And now, Denise, I'm sure you're
Thank
going to
you
be
for having
looking
us.
for it.
Yeah, now I will try and
thank
find
you.
her.
Yeah, from the day you said yes, we've been like, wow. So
Yeah.
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 Thank you for coming.
And I'll tell you
on.
what, man, I needed it this week. I needed something, you know,
Yeah.
something fun, something chilled. Yeah.
Well, we
this
have,
is
I think we're going to grab Reagan real quick. So y'all
If
can
y'all
see
wanna
her.
say hello.
Yes.
Hold for just a
Oh,
second. I'm gonna grab-
Yay.
There's the final question. Let's see, baby.
She's going to grab her. We actually are all on vacation together, at the
Nice.
beach this week.
Oh, nice. That's amazing.
Here she comes. Hey, my baby girl.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Oh,
so
my God.
cute. I think she looks like Laura Lee. I know that sounds
Hey.
crazy.
What's that?
I'm
But
not
it's
alone, right?
Oh, my.
You waving?
Hi.
Hey, what you see? See mommy's coffee.
Hey.
Oh, oh my
Hey.
goodness,
Oh.
she's precious.
What a little
Absolutely
doll.
precious.
Thank
Oh.
you. We
Oh,
our
thanks
whole
for
life right here.
sharing.
She's
Hi,
beautiful.
baby.
Spoiled rotten.
Yeah.
Now you can smother her.
Exactly. And I
Mother.
do.
Oh,
I
oh
just-
my
I
God.
just don't understand
To an extent.
That is a perfect ending, Jay. All the
Thank y'all
levels
so
of
much for
smother.
having us.
All the levels.
That's beautiful. Well, listen, you guys take care. Enjoy your vacation. Thank you
Thank
again so
you.
much for doing this.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
No, thank
Yeah,
y'all. We
it's
enjoyed it
awesome.
so much.
Thanks so much.
Great.
It was
Bye.
nice meeting y'all.
Bye.
Up next in the mix is singer-songwriter and music professor Melissa Ferrick. The original full episode aired on May 1st, 2022.
Melissa, seriously, you look fantastic.
I
Really.
just got back from work, so I'm dressed up.
Just let me think that it was for the show.
Oh, I did. I got completely dressed up. Yeah, I'm like,
Thank you.
got my
Thank you.
necklace on. I got a little. I have leftover mascara on from yesterday. Can you hear me? My Bluetooths aren't they're not connecting. So can you hear me all right?
I can totally hear you. Yep.
All
My
right.
co-host is can't figure out why she can't get in.
Oh, well, that's cool. Then
No worries. She's coming. She'll figure it out. She's iPadding, so everything's a little bit harder for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Used to, so how's London?
You know what? I love it. I do love it here.
Been there for years, right?
Yeah. Like this is my 11th year. In March was 11 years. Yeah. It took a long time to adjust, a really long time. You know, like it was hard to find a job. It was hard to find to understand the transportation systems, and I still don't. I still refuse to go anywhere alone.
Yeah. What about community? You're finding community there?
The lesbian band community over here is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Evie and Nikki Mitchell and Heads Hearts, and I mean there was just so many. And you know, each year we would go back and we would do this festival, and whether they were performing or not, they would just come to see everybody. You know, like that's what I love, is that if you text any of them and say, hey, we're getting together over here, they'll figure out a way to get there, you know, and just be together. And you know what, Melissa Ferrick, I just want to put this out there for people that may not know this, that you're all professional now, like teaching and stuff. So you have like a real job, and you're spreading the knowledge, and that is commendable. How did you fall into that?
Really by accident, you know, like, what was I thinking? I was thinking about this the other day because someone was asking me, but when it was right before The Truth Is came out. So it had to have been 2011. I got a call from Berkeley College of Music, where I had gone to school, and they were looking for people to teach the 5-week program, which is their summer program for high school students. And I had gone to that my junior summer, and that's actually where I kissed a girl for the first time.
Hey,
Yeah, so I like realized I realized I was queer there. I
realized a special place in your heart.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I mean, I realized I was earlier than that in my life, but I didn't really have, you know, the language for it, nor the physical experience of it. So, so I was like, you know what, this place, and I went to college there. So I was like, I'm going to do this. And so that's really where I got the bug, you know, the giving back and teaching bug. So I said yes to that. And I became the artistic director of their performing songwriter division of the 5-week summer high school program, and increased the capacity. Over 8 years I did that, or 9 years I did that. And I increased I don't take all the credit for it, but the program itself like doubled. And I had a lot of artists, but one in particular was Megan Trainor was there, and also Maggie Rogers. And so they were, you know, that was a pretty special time. And while I was doing 5-week, that's what they call it there, they started to train me as a teacher at the college level. So I sat in and I learned how to teach from a professor there named Scarlett Keys. So I sat on a lot of her courses and Pat Pattison courses. And then I became a assistant professor there, or part-time. I guess I wasn't an associate professor, but anyway, whatever. And I really liked it, but it really interfered. It was starting to really interfere with the pace at which I was able to make my own music. So, but I mean, so I was there, and then I was getting into my 40s, you know, like my mid 40s. And I was like, I don't really want to get back in a van again and do like all over the world eating McDonald's. I just really can't take it. My body can't take it. And
it's a grind, man. Yeah.
It's a real grind. And I don't, you know, and also, you know, I'd been on the road since I was 17, you know, so I was like, I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't have a lot of community. I didn't really have any home, so to speak, you know, and that was really hard for me. And and it's been hard learning how to make friends. You know, I started really learning how to make friends in my mid 40s. And so now I'm 51, I'll be 52 this year. And I'm like,
right there with you.
I actually have friends. I actually have people that I'm starting.
That's great. Yeah. But it's like being reintegrated into society, you know, because
as a full adult, when you're like, I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah.
You're there. We can hear you. Oh, thank God.
And it's so good to see you, JD. It's so cool. This is so great.
Nice to meet you.
I know, but I don't think I've ever met you, JD. But Denise and I met each other, I would say it's got to be 20 years ago, Denise.
I think it is. I think we're going on 20.
Yeah. 'Cause
Wow.
were you working at Amazon when it first, where were you working when I first met you? Or you wrote a play that was,
Yeah. No, I was working at Aetna. I was,
Aetna.
yeah, it was at Aetna, but I was doing the podcast, The Lesbian Lounge.
And were you also an editor of some kind or?
No, I did a lot of writing. We did an audio soap opera. We did a lot of stuff that we
That's what it was.
incorporated.
I was trying to remember.
I
what
think
the-
we asked you if we could use your music.
Yeah. And I don't know if I owned it then, but I hope I said, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I would-
no, yeah, yep,
Yeah.
yep. But yeah, I mean,
But,
yeah, that's way back. We were just, Jay, we
way
were just talking 30 years since her first
yeah.
first
Wow.
album, right?
Well, next
Oh my
year, It
God.
will be 30, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I first got on CD Baby, you
Yeah.
were like the best seller on CD Baby. And I was like so impressed with your career and your music. And I can't believe I'm meeting you today. And I couldn't get on, and everyone else's email was coming through and Denise's wasn't there. I pictured it flying overseas somewhere, like floating over from London.
I think maybe what was happening was I was including you both on the email, but when I sent it to you separately, because Melissa
Oh.
just sent me the link in the little chat box, and I sent it to you separately, and maybe that's what it was. It wasn't making a detour upstate. It was coming
It was
straight to
a very
Florida.
slow cloud.
It only stopped by her. It didn't continue. The one
So
stuff.
Melissa was just telling us that when she was 22, she was sitting in, Melissa, tell her you were sitting in an
Oh,
office.
yeah.
with-
I was just talking about how like that question that you get from people be like, what would you do differently? Or, what would you do differently if you could look
Yeah.
back now? And
Mhm.
I'm talking about when I put this, I'm doing a retrospective so that it should come out next year in August. And I'm going to include little short essays about moments that I remember or things that I learned or people that I met or like kind of like peak, quote unquote, peak moments, not
Mhm.
peak, important. I should change
Yeah,
that.
the ones that had the
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah, ones that really were like, okay. And one of them was the head of publicity at Atlantic, who I was 22. The first record was getting ready to come out. She must have, I was saying to Denise, she's at her prime, right? Like this woman is like head of publicity.
PR.
fucking
Right.
amazing. Like
Right.
she kind of knows what she's doing, She was probably 50, my age now. Like when you hit it, like we're in our stride now. Like we know what we're doing, right?
Right,
People,
right.
like,
We
we know,
are,
yeah, we know
yeah.
what we're doing, and we don't give a shit what other people think anymore. Which is, we want to do things the right way, but we can also admit when we're wrong. We can learn new things. We can just let it go. We don't need to carry stuff around with us because who's got the time? And so I walk in there and I'm starting to tell her, I was trying to tell her how to, publicize my record. And she was so patient and kind with me. And she just listened to me.
Uh-huh.
And she said, you have some really interesting ideas and I'll definitely think about that. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, that
And now I do that,
Right.
right. I mean, seriously,
That is so true.
in your role now,
Yeah.
how many kids come up to you,
Yeah.
and say, I want to do what you did, or I want to follow that path. And I want, like, do you now tell them, be open, like,
I mean, what they usually say, which is you have to be careful, right? Because artists are like really thin skinned, I mean, I'm
Very
still
sensitive,
so
right?
sensitive.
Yeah.
And even now, when I write a song and I play it for you, I really just want you to tell me that it's great.
Right. Right.
I really don't, especially when it's a new song, when it's new, right, JD? And we're still working
Right.
it out. Like,
Oh yeah.
I really just want somebody to be like, that freaking melody right there is so good. Like, just don't say anything bad about it yet.
Right.
Just say what's good about it.
Right.
Maybe you could say like, I thought for sure it was called This Time because you said this time 16 songs, but you want to call it like, you want to call it like Last Year's Heartache. And that lyric isn't even in the song.
Right. Right.
Don't be freaking Tom York because you're not Tom York and you can't do
Right,
that,
right.
like,
Yep.
so you can say stuff like that to me once we're friends and we're in the studio or like, then I'm sure JD, like, then I do really want like constructive critique.
Right.
Because I
right,
can be like, that's a cool idea, but I actually don't want to do that, but thank you. So, but yeah, but now students or younger people, they're not all students, just the other artists, and they just want to be, I mean, there's two categories, right? Like they just want to be famous, which I have no qualms about, but I can't help you. If we knew how to do that, we would all just do that.
right, right.
And then there's other ones who are like, I guess there's three categories. Then there's ones who are like, how do I do this? And I say, you have Google.
Mhm.
And I had the white pages, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, I literally looked up
Yep.
the address of managers
much
that wanted to
art.
represent me. And I freaking went to New York and I went and I found their offices and I opened the door and was like, here's a package. That's what we did.
Right. Yep,
You know,
Yep.
where you want to play the bitter end, go to the bitter end. every
exactly.
freaking week
Yeah.
and learn what
Mhm.
the bartender's name is and make friends with her.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
whole
true.
different
That is
ballgame.
true.
Don't be mean to the door person because they're going to be running the club in freaking 6 months, you idiots.
Right.
No?
It's different now. Yeah, it's so
See,
different
these
now.
are the little nuggets. These are the
Yeah.
little nuggets, you know, that,
I think people should know this anyway.
yeah, that's
That's-
why a book
It
is where
should
it's
be
at.
that way.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
how you are. That's how I was, JD. That's how
Yeah.
that's where I go. Where I was. I mean, when my dad said, learn the custodian's name because he's got every key.
Right,
No.
right. You're right. That's exactly true. And you need to have that grassroots approach because even now, you know, like you could go online and get people's names, but if you could get that personal connection and with the people around them, that's exactly true. I love that about the janitor. Your dad was so true. It was so right.
I just
So
want to
well
let both of you know that I used to eat lunch with a janitor.
Listen, and
Oh,
sweetest,
Early.
yeah,
doesn't surprise me.
you just can't. You can't. Because you know it's that old saying of like who you see while you're going up, you'll see on the way down. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
it's and so those moments, like I learned, you know, two things from that experience with that publicist, which is one, you know, well, I mean, a lot of things, because I did have a lot of good points. I had my ear to the ground. I knew my queer community. I knew where I should, you know, that maybe I shouldn't be playing that club. I should be playing this club. And she's not on the ground the way that we are when we know our market. So the artist doesn't
Right.
know their market, but learning to stay open-minded. And as I've grown up in this industry and written with other people and been, you know, now in teaching and learning about different ways of thinking, even being flexible with my thinking, like I just feel like I'm definitely a better writer now. I'm doing co-writing, I'm in recording with other people, and I'm writing in kind of in a country genre. And, you know, it's just really interesting how I just feel like I don't need to necessarily tour far away from home anymore because of COVID. Like one of the wonderful things about getting stuck at home, right, was that like I got a pretty good setup here now to play live from my house.
Right, right.
And I think that I'm lucky at the age that I am. My fans are older as well. And they
Mhm,
don't
mhm.
necessarily want to go to the freaking
That's a
bar.
great
Who wants
Yeah.
to play at 9 o'clock? I'm like, you want me to go on at 9 on a Sunday? None of my fans are going to be up that late. They have kids, right? They have kids
got
or
kids.
Yeah,
and they have jobs.
Yep.
that's a
we're
that's a really good
true.
point.
So I can go online at, you know, 8 o'clock at night, East Coast time, you know, which is 5 Pacific time. So I don't know.
It's
It'll
good.
be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to
Good.
see.
Yeah, things are changing. They're changing, and people had to adapt. You know, we've all figured out ways to, you know, we're in survival mode. You know, we figured out ways how to survive that, but we also found out what works for us. You
Yeah.
know, And
Yeah,
I think,
and I think it's thinking outside the box too. Like we've
Yeah.
had to really think outside the box on what we're going to do to have our still create and do our art and the online thing really worked for me as well, Melissa, during the lockdown, especially. You know, I was just telling somebody today, I just was in the other bedroom here that I made into like a little studio, and I was reaching people in Italy, like hello from Spain, hello from Italy, you know, like, you know, just on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know what it was there, but they were all listening. And I was like, that's why I had the idea to do this podcast. But I wanted to ask you, at your live shows, like now, these days, how are you selling music? Because people don't even have a way to sell a CD. And I still have a bunch of CDs, but you know, what do you do? Like, even if I wanted to have a new medium, what is it? Do you have a flash drive or like with MP3s on it? Like, how are people selling music? Or do you just not at a show?
Yeah, I just don't. So, I mean, I had to, when I moved into Boston, and I don't know what you do with your taxes, but I threw out, I think I had to recycle about 12,000 CDs that I just knew I would, it just was weight in my attic.
Right.
And it was sad. And it was a lot of money, that I had spent.
Oh, yeah.
You spent it too. When 2005 hit, I mean, it was over, that 2005, when iTunes started, I mean, I really think it started a little before that for me because I was, I mean, LimeWire first. Well, Napster.
Oh my God.
Right.
But was, we were killing it with CD sales through 2000, 2003, 2004, 2005. And then I made a record called In the Eyes of Strangers, which came out in 2006. It's a great record. And I've sold out of those CDs. And then we did a repressing. And when we repressed it, that's when I got screwed. And so I took a huge, well, I don't know, huge in the indie world, right? Like but I took a tax deduction for the first time on like product that like broke down or whatever. I don't know what the heck it's called. There was a column for it. So I actually got to add up however much it cost us to make all those CDs. Jada, you should think about that. And then you cut it in half or something. And then you can write that off as a loss.
Oh,
So that was good, but I cut some CDs, but now I just make vinyl. I make low run vinyl.
Really? Yeah.
And with the CDs that I have left, I put them out at a merch counter and I leave a basket and it just says, take what you need, and then there's
great idea.
Because there's some people like to get something signed at a show. Some people they have old cars with CD players still in them.
Right. Yeah.
But you're right. Nobody's going to drop 15 or 20 bucks on a CD anymore. They're just not going to do it. So no, I don't sell USBs or anything like that. It's all streamed. That's all it is.
Yeah. Right. I don't even bother to bring them with me to the show because it's just extra weight, like you said.
Another thing the roadie's got to carry.
I got some in the back of my car and I just lay out whatever. I just grab a handful and I lay it out and I'm like, there you go. That's it.
I like that idea.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, I don't know. I just keep thinking like we're on a bend, like things are really, we're on a curve. Things are changing. We've learned from the last couple of years what's necessary, what we need to do. But also looking back, like again, 2004, 2005, that was a big change too. But look at vinyl's coming back. Yeah. People are loving their record players again, whether they're buying ones that are like, that look retro, but they're really, new.
Right.
I love it. I just love it. But yeah, people are getting back into the vinyl. I think that's smart to have a couple of those done. Definitely.
Well, it outsold CDs for the first time in the United States a couple of years ago. Vinyl did. So that's a huge mark, huge mark. And the good news is that even though the problem though, well, there's two. First of all, it takes so long. The backlog on vinyl pressing right now is so bad because there's only like 5 places in the US that even make vinyl. And one of the best ones like burned up and has been destroyed. I don't remember where it is, so I don't want to say the wrong place, but it's gone. And then the quality of vinyl pressing is also very back and forth. So there's some places that make very bad vinyl. So you want to be really careful about, and when you're finalizing your records, we used to call it mastering, we call it finalizing now. Well, you have to have a separate finalization for vinyl than you do for CD or for digital. So now for artists, now we have to pay even more money. We have to get you get a Ozone. I don't know if you work in Pro Tools, but Ozone makes a fantastic mastering software. called Isotope makes this plugin called Ozone, which has some amazing mastering software in there. So you can do that, but it's really it's a whole other ball game now with streaming. I mean, how artists are able to make money now really is just through branding and alliances and touring, but touring disappeared, right? And even with sync, like there used to be a ton of money in sync, and now because they know that they're the new A&R, if you're an unknown artist, basically you're happy to get the sync. You're not getting anymore. Like, I had a sync once that paid me $35,000. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of money, but those just aren't coming through anymore for artists of my caliber or my success level. Now, you're lucky to get $150. I think I got placed in Dog the Bounty Hunter, and I got paid $150. It's like,
oh yeah.
that's me taking the two of you for a steak dinner. It's like,
right.
Yeah, it's there's no surviving in that route, there's
because they spend all their money on, where they want the Rolling Stones song. They're, and now all the publishing buyouts, which is amazing. But so now if they want to use a Paul Simon song, they're, it's not Paul Simon anymore that says yes or no, because you have to get permission to sync. You can't just sync something.
Yeah.
So, but now they don't have to go to Paul Simon or his publisher anymore. They're just going to go to whatever publishing company bought out the entire rights of that publishing.
Right.
So, it's incredible.
It's like and I know you got to bolt out of here real quick, but I'm only gonna, I just wanted to mention that it's so hard when you're doing, like Jay, we talk about this all the time, don't we? It's so hard when you're doing everything on your own.
Yeah.
Like, because the business interferes with the creative.
Exactly.
Interferes with the promoting. It's like all one thing, and you're, trying to, keep your hands on all of it. It's your stuff.
Yeah.
And it becomes so much business that it's, like it takes a little bit of the joy away from it, especially if you're not technical, or savvy with that kind of stuff, like it's a learning experience to get to where, that part comes easy, because I feel like it never does. I say it all the time, like the more I learn, the more work
Right.
Doing it is work. It leaves so little time to create. And
exactly.
that's difficult,
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay, do you with CD Baby? Is that how you're putting your stuff out?
Well, yeah, as on the digital distribution, the way, they have it on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, whatever. That's basically how I'm getting my own music out there. And my, any way I can get it out through social media.
Jay, you're always number one on Reverb Nation.
Yeah, I don't know. I've remained number one in country in Miami on Reverb Nation, but I just got publishing on some of my songs for a company in France. So, they're going to shop it to some, commercial film, like what you said, you were in Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yeah. So you never know. Sync. So that's just, they just have part of my catalog, but
and so let me ask you this.
There's another way. I don't know another way to do it. So
so I have a question for you about that. I can push this till 6:10.
Okay.
It's a 6:30, but I need to regroup and eat something. So the thing that you signed with the people in France, is it exclusive? Does it say this is an exclusive agreement?
It's an agreement for the deals they get. So they change the name on the songs when they get a deal. So it's just for that. They have 50% of the publishing just for that deal. So I still own the rights to it for anything else I get for it. So
okay, so it's non-exclusive then. So that's good. So so I do know that the CD Babies Pro publishing opportunity is really, really good. And
is it?
Yeah, it's as close to Tanya Butler, who's the head of music business at Berkeley, and she's a lawyer, told me that it's as good as any publishing admin deal she's ever seen. So if you, and it's non-exclusive, so you can click that box and not feel afraid of that.
Ah,
So I would do that. And because then they're collecting all your neighboring rights royalties as well, which is like really, it's like mind boggling, and you'll never be able to do it. And are you with like ASCAP or BMI? Who are you with? Who's your performing rights organization?
ASCAP.
Cool. All right. So, and then are you also with Sound Exchange? Do you have a Sound Exchange account yet?
I don't.
Okay, so you
I
can
don't know what that is.
So sign up with Sound Exchange because they're collecting all the royalties for sound recording owners for all the streaming royalties. And that's
Okay.
new. That's relatively new. It's a nonprofit organization based out of Washington, DC. So all sound recording owners and performers. So you will get a double royalty from them. It's small, but it adds up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. I didn't know that. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for that information.
Soundexchange.com. So do that. And then, yeah, so I just think, and when you're putting stuff out with CD Baby, there's a couple other things too. Like you should really always click the box that says, yes, give me a UPC code, which I bet you do because
Yes.
and then also click the box that says, do you want us to attach an ISRC code to your material? So you definitely want that. That's the International Standard Recording Code. And that is the code that's going to pick up your digital stream and acknowledge who it belongs to, so that you're able to get paid.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's free. And it's also not something to be afraid of. They're not taking anything from you. They're just identifying your digital product as it being you. So I teach this a lot because they're like, I didn't know what it was. So I assumed it's the devil, and it's like, no, it's not. So
they assign it to you, to your account, you get your code.
Exactly. So they know every time it spins on Pandora, every time it streams, because we say spins because it's old school, but every time it streams on Pandora, that code is tallied, and then it knows it's a JD Danner.
Oh, okay. I have to go back and look at that site. I have to
And
see
you can
what
attack it now. You can do it in hindsight.
Oh, okay,
So,
good.
yeah, so you can just go back in and click on that.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I would go
awesome.
into.
That's some valuable information right there.
It really is. Thank you so much for
Oh, I
that.
feel like we just got a free lesson.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll let you go eat. You've earned a meal.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
your hair, by the way. Love
I
your
know.
hair.
Thank you. I just got it trimmed yesterday, and it's really got some height. Well, it
It's
only
got
looks
some height there.
well,
You
it's-
got some hair product going on, I
no,
bet.
nothing. No, it's the
Really?
blow. She blew it dry. You know how when you go to the, all
Yeah.
know, and then they
Yeah.
blow dry your hair. Look at this, the good gray. This is I like the sexy gray right
That's
here. I'm
good
never-
gray. Yeah.
No,
I'm
when
gonna
you
show
get
you
to-
what's not good gray.
Oh, I got it. Trust me, I got it deep in here.
Yeah.
But I just haven't taken that shower that you have to take after you go to the hairdresser. Like I can't.
Yeah.
It's like it's
You
not really
wash
right.
their style out.
Exactly. Wash the blow dry out. I'm like, why are you do I look straight? Why are you blow drying my hair? It's
I
like,
say it all the time. I don't want to leave here looking like Bonnie Raitt. It never fails.
oh, no, it's like, the
Yeah,
femme
yeah.
tops, I guess, don't blow dry their hair. I don't know.
They're doing their
That's
job.
such a
They're doing their-
generalization. I'm just joking, but like,
Oh man, I'm telling you, it is so good to see you.
It's
And
so
I'm
good to
so
see you.
glad that you are spreading the knowledge. You're
Mhm.
you're giving it back in tenfold. It's amazing.
yeah.
We're looking forward to tell me again when August is when
August of next year. Yeah, it's going to come out. I don't know. I really can't say how it will come out yet because it's still kind of under wraps, but it'll be a thing. And yeah, and I'm going to do some sort of live or parties for it or something. I don't
Great.
know, but listen, if you have any sort of, like online festivals or whatever, you gotta, invite me. I'll come play for everybody.
Definitely. Well,
know?
you'd have
Yeah.
to fly. You'd have to fly.
Oh, no, I mean, well, also like if you do an online one or something, or if
Oh,
you do,
true. Yeah.
like I can always zoom in, or something, or
Right.
say hi, especially if you're doing
Oh,
anything.
yeah. You guys
whatever
should
you're
do
doing.
something together. That would be
Yeah, that'd be
fantastic.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
should.
You look at me. I'm
Awesome.
managing. I'm
Make it
managing.
happen.
No,
Make
that's
it
a
happen,
great
JD.
idea. Yeah,
Good.
send me some tracks, send me some stuff. I love co-writing, JD. I'm always up for a co-write.
I'd love to do that. I'll send you some of my stuff and
Great,
we'll,
yeah.
figure
Yeah.
it out. I am
Please.
so glad the link worked. Thank you for resending it. I was just desperately trying on everything I had. I'm like, I really wanted to talk to this woman. today.
I know how bad she wanted to be here. It was killing me to get these messages. Still not here. Still no email. Still not. Oh no. Oh,
We'll share the email, Denise. JD, get my email from
I will.
Denise in
I will
number
make
and
sure
stuff
she
or
has
whatever. JD, are you in London as well? I can't remember.
No, I'm in Florida.
In Miami or where are you?
I'm in Boca Raton.
Okay,
but-
cool.
I say Miami because
A little older.
cooler.
They're a little older up north.
That's all right. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. No, but it's good
Okay, we
because
get that.
we're on the same time zone, so that makes it easy.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're in Boston, right?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
in Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
amazing. I'm so glad we got to have this catch up. Really, thank you so much for being so
Yeah.
generous with your time.
Anytime.
You're amazing. We love you, and I can't wait. We're gonna
Yep.
do things together. I can feel it.
Awesome.
I'm so excited.
Awesome. Love you guys too.
Take care.
Why do you always run back to the lover you
Like never stop
once
chasing your
knew?
dreams.
You're addicted to her touch. That's true.
See?
And I confess, my addiction is you.
We drank way too much whiskey.
Don't ask me why I'm here tonight. I had to take this midnight drive to find you. And as I come in through the door, I see her dancing on the floor beside you. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. You look at me and in my eyes you see the hurt I can't disguise. I watch you, and though it seems I look right through, I'm noticing your every move. She's got you. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. You're my addiction. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. I turn away to mask the pain, but jealousy reveals my rage and madness. And knowing you can read my mind consumes me in a shameful kind of sadness. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. You are my drug, my ever-waking need. I got you in my blood. You've got me on my knees. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I